Your cat is staring at you again, not just a casual glance, that intense, unblinking gaze like you forgot to pick them up from school. Then they meow, but it's not angry or annoyed, it's soft, almost like they're telling you something. Maybe you brush it off, or maybe just for a second you think, do they see me as their mom? It's a weird question, but once it enters your mind, it doesn't leave. The way they follow you into the bathroom, the way they curl up on your chest and purr like you're home, the way they knead your stomach like they're making bread or checking if you're still alive. This video is going to explain what's really going on inside that little feline brain. And don't worry, we're not going to waste your time with random cat facts. This will actually make sense of the strange things your cat does, and by the end, you'll either feel deeply loved or mildly concerned. Either way, it's going to be worth it. Cats don't bond the way dogs do. They don't wag their tails or jump into your arms like they've just returned from war. Cats are subtle, strategic, but when a cat chooses you, it's not random, it's personal. That's where imprinting comes in. When a kitten is young, their brain is wide open, like a sponge wearing tiny fur pants. Whoever shows up with food, warmth, and safety during that time becomes more than just a roommate. They become the blueprint, the anchor, the emotional GPS. So when your cat curls up on your hoodie and blinks at you like you're the moon, it's not because you're convenient. It's because they've filed you under important. You've been stamped into their nervous system like a favorite smell or the memory of where the treats are hidden. This isn't dependency, it's recognition. You're not just some tall creature with thumbs. You're the one they chose to orbit. And for a creature descended from solitary hunters, that means everything. Cats don't meow at each other. That's not how they talk. They've got tail flicks, ear angles, and silent judgment for that. The meow, that's for you. It's custom made. A language invented just for the strange, slow, two-legged creature who somehow controls the snacks. Think about it, in the wild, adult cats don't sit around meowing at each other like a choir of confused birds. Kittens meow at their mothers. Adults meow at humans. That's the upgrade. Somewhere along the evolutionary line, cats looked at us and thought, all right, this one's a bit dense, better use sound. So every time your cat meows, they're not just making noise. They're trying to connect. Maybe they want food. Maybe they want your attention. Or maybe they just want to remind you they exist and are deeply disappointed in your choices. But the point is, they're not talking to the void. They're talking to you. You're the one who gets the privilege of that tiny, squeaky, sometimes bossy voice. You've been promoted. You're not just the human in the house. You're the one worth speaking to. When your cat needs your lap like they're working dough for a bake sale, it's not because they missed their true calling as a pastry chef. It's something much older, deeper, a leftover instinct from kittenhood that somehow made it into adulthood like a childhood habit nobody bothered to delete. Kittens need their mother's belly to help the milk flow. It's an action tied to nourishment, safety, and warmth. So when your full-grown cat climbs onto your chest and starts rhythmically pressing their paws into you, they're not just being cute. They're reaching back into their earliest memories and placing you right in the center of them. Add purring to the mix, and you've basically become a living, breathing security blanket. Sometimes they even drool a little. It's weird, but it means they feel safe enough to forget where and when they are. That's not just affection, that's regression, in the best, most comforting way. You are in that moment not a person, you're a feeling, the one they return to when the world gets loud and the shadows move too much. That's not love in the romantic sense, it's love in the primal, everything is okay now sense. If your cat licks your hand like you're a popsicle with bad flavor but sentimental value, that's not random, that's grooming. And in cat culture, grooming is serious business. It's how they bond, how they build trust, and how they say, you're part of my weird little tribe now. In the wild, cats groom the ones they're closest to, siblings, mothers, kittens. It's not hygiene, it's intimacy. So when your cat starts licking your arm while you're just trying to scroll through your phone, they're not being annoying, they're letting you in. And then there's the following, room to room, bathroom to bathroom. You stand, they stand. You sit, they sit. You blink, they blink, but slower. It's like having a furry, emotionally complex shadow. This isn't random clinginess. It's a throwback to kittenhood when survival meant staying close. So if your cat insists on watch, gee, you brush your teeth or pee in peace, it's not surveillance, it's loyalty. They follow you not because they think you'll vanish. They follow you because to them, you're the sun, and when the sun moves, the world follows. Your cat is smart enough to know you're not a cat. You don't smell like one, you don't sound like one, and you're tragically bad at chasing string. But here's the twist, they don't need you to be a cat to treat you like one. Cats operate on familiarity, not form. They don't care that you walk on two legs and keep mysteriously disappearing into the glowing box you call a laptop. What matters is how you behave. If you feed them, respond to their meows, and provide warmth and comfort, then congratulations, you've unlocked the honorary cat badge. It's not confusion, it's category. In their mental filing cabinet, you're under trusted companion. And the way they interact with you, rubbing against your legs, blinking slowly, even bringing you dead things, is the same way they'd treat another cat they like, or at least tolerate. They're not mistaking you for their mother. They're doing something even more impressive. they're translating their entire social language across species lines. That's not misidentification, that's fluency. For a long time, people assumed cats were too independent to form deep emotional bonds, that they saw us as walking can openers with questionable fashion sense. But science has a different story, and it's surprisingly tender. Researchers have discovered that cats form attachments to their humans that look a lot like the bonds babies form with their parents. When you leave the room, some cats get stressed. When you come back, they calm down. That's not casual, that's connection. In fact, about 2/3 of cats in studies showed signs of what's called a secure attachment. That means your presence actually regulates their nervous system. You make them feel safe, grounded, like everything is okay, even if the vacuum is alive and screaming. So if your cat seeks you out, curls against you, or seems extra clingy on tough days, it's not just routine. It's biology, emotional biology. You're not just their food source, you're their emotional anchor. You are quite literally their safe place. And that's not wishful thinking, that's measurable, observable science. The kind that says, yes, your cat might just love you like a child loves a parent, quietly, weirdly, and completely. So does your cat think you're their mom? Maybe not in a fur and whiskers kind of way, but in the way that matters? Absolutely. You're their comfort zone, their translator, their emotional home base with opposable thumbs. They don't need you to purr or hunt or groom with your tongue. They just need you to show up, feed them, blink slowly, be there when the world feels too big. And if that sounds a lot like love, that's because it is. Their version of it, small, quiet, and full of meaning. If you've ever looked at your cat and wondered what's really going on in that fuzzy little head, now you know you're not just part of their life, you are their life. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Klawsome for more insightful cat videos.